Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Kapil Gupta Career Pod Show, your one stop destination to explore exciting careers, gain valuable insights, and unlock new opportunities. And today, we're discussing a career that's literally among saving lives while working with medicines. No, not your neighborhood chemist uncle who gives you Crocin without prescription. We are talking about clinical pharmacists, the medicine experts who make sure doctors don't mess up your treatment. Now, before you assume that pharmacists only sit behind counters handing out medicines, let me tell you, clinical pharmacists do way more than that. They are the experts who work alongside doctors and nurses making critical decisions about patient medication. In fact, in some countries, they even conduct patient rounds and prescribe medication. Sounds cool? Right. So, if you're interested in healthcare but don't want to deal with blood and surgeries, stay tuned. This episode is your perfect prescription for success. So, whether you are someone who's fascinated by medicine and patient care or simply curious about high demand healthcare careers, this episode goes a long way making you take a decision. So, hello all. I'm Kapil Gupta, founder of Study Abroad Academy. I'm on a mission to coach and mentor 100,000 high school students and help them realize the dream of studying in the best universities of the world and build happy and successful careers for themselves. So, now let's start with the basics. What exactly does a clinical pharmacist do? Now, clinical pharmacists are medicine experts who work directly with doctors, nurses, and patients to make sure medicines are used correctly and safely. So, unlike the pharmacist at your local medical store who just gives you the medicines written on your prescription, clinical pharmacists are deeply involved in your treatment. Now, here's what their typical day looks like. They review patient files and check if the medicines prescribed are correct for the patient's condition. They are like fact checkers for prescriptions. They look for possible drug interactions like, did you know some medicines don't mix well with certain foods? So your clinical pharmacist knows all these deadly combos. They educate patients about how to take their medicines properly. No, beta, this tablet is not to be chewed. Swallow it whole with water. So they monitor patients for side effects and suggest changes in medicine if needed. They also participate in hospital rounds with doctors. And when doctor says what medicine should we give for this condition, the clinical pharmacist is ready with all the options. And guess what? They also do research on new medicines and create hospital medicine policies. So, unlike retail pharmacists who spend most time dispensing medicines, clinical pharmacists are more like medicine consultants who use their deep knowledge to improve patient care. अब बात करते हैं स्कोप की. Yes, let's talk about the scope. How bright is the future for clinical pharmacists? So in India, this field is growing faster than your Instagram followers after a viral reel. With more hospitals focusing on patient safety and better healthcare, clinical pharmacists are in high demand. Big hospitals like Apollo, Fortis, and AIIMS have dedicated clinical pharmacy departments. Even government hospitals are now hiring clinical pharmacists. The National Health Mission and Ayushman Bharat have created more opportunities for clinical pharmacists in primary healthcare centers across India. And if you're dreaming of abroad, then listen up. Countries like the United States, UK, Canada, Australia, and Gulf nations have well established clinical pharmacy practices with amazing opportunities. In the United States, clinical pharmacists are rock stars of the healthcare system. They can even prescribe medicine in some states under collaborative agreements with doctors. In the UK, the NHS, that is National Health Service, employs thousands of clinical pharmacists who work in hospitals and also in GP practices. Then Canada and Australia also offer excellent opportunities with good work life balance. Perfect for those who want to work hard but party harder. And the best part, there's a shortage of qualified clinical pharmacists in many Western countries, making it easier for Indian pharmacists to find jobs abroad after getting the necessary licenses. But remember, going abroad usually requires clearing additional exams like the FPGEE in the US or the OSPAP, that is OSPAP in the UK. So start preparing early if that's your dream. Now let's talk about how to become a clinical pharmacist. That is, what do you need to study? So, first, you need to complete a bachelor's degree in pharmacy, usually known as B Pharma, which is a 4 year course. Now, this is your entry ticket to the pharmacy world. But to become a clinical pharmacist, you should aim for master's degree in pharmacy with specialization in pharmacy practice or clinical pharmacy. Now, that is a 2 year course. So, for those who want to go all the way, there's also a PharmD, that is Doctor of Pharmacy program, which is a 6 year course after 12th standard that directly focuses on clinical aspects of pharmacy. Now, which colleges should you target? So, in India, top colleges include NIPER, that is National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education Research. It has 7 campuses across India and is considered the IIT of pharmacy education. Then Manipal College of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Then GSS College of Pharmacy, Mysore. Jamia Hamdard University, Delhi, and BITS Pilani. And for those looking abroad, top universities include University of California, San Francisco, of course in US, then University of Michigan based in US, then University of North Carolina also in United States, then University of Toronto based in Canada, then University of Nottingham and King's College London both in UK. Beyond degrees, you need some solid skills to shine in this world. First, strong knowledge of pharmacology. You need to know your drugs like you know your favorite Netflix shows. Then, number two, attention to detail, because mixing up milligrams can be a matter of life and death. Then, number three, communication skills. Explaining complex medicine information in simple terms is an art. Then, number four, critical thinking. When a patient is on multiple medications, finding the cause of a problem is like solving a detective mystery. And number five, empathy, because patients need someone who care, not just someone who knows the medicine names. And yes, tech savviness is important too. Modern clinical pharmacists use various software tools for drug information and electronic health records. And now, the most important question: how much do I earn? So, in India, a fresher clinical pharmacist can expect to start with a salary of around 3 to 4 lakhs per annum in private hospitals. With 3 to 5 years of experience, this can go up to 6 to 8 lakhs. Senior clinical pharmacist with 10 plus years of experience can earn anywhere between 12 to 20 lakhs annually, especially in metro cities. Government jobs might offer slightly lower salaries, but come with job security and other benefits. So now, if you go abroad, the numbers get much more exciting. In the United States, clinical pharmacists earn an average of $120,000 to $150,000 per year. Now that's about 90 lakhs to 1.1 crore. Imagine telling that to your relatives at the next family function. In the UK, salaries range from £45,000 to £80,000, approximately 45 to 80 lakhs, depending on experience and position. Then Canada offers around 100,000 to 130,000 Canadian dollars, and Australia pays around 90,000 to 120,000 Australian dollars per year. Talking about Gulf countries like UAE and Saudi Arabia, they offer tax-free salaries ranging from 15,000 to 13,000 per month, that is around 3.5 to 7 lakhs per month, plus accommodation benefits. Besides the salary, clinical pharmacists often gets benefit like health insurance, retirement plans, and continuing education allowances. Some hospitals even offer research grants if you want to explore new areas in pharmacy. And the best part, job stability. People will always need medicines, so career won't go out of fashion like those bell bottom jeans. So let's peek into what a typical day looks like for a clinical pharmacist. I actually talked to my cousin Priya, who works as a clinical pharmacist at a big hospital in Mumbai. Priya's day starts at 8 a.m. with a review of patient medication profiles. She checks if any patient had adverse reactions overnight or if any new patient need medication reviews. Then at 9:30 a.m. she joins the doctor for rounds in the ICU. When they discuss each patient, she advises on appropriate medication dosages, possible interactions, and alternatives if needed. After lunch, she spends time counseling patients who are being discharged. She explains how to take their medicines, what side effects to watch for, and answers their questions. As she says, half the medicines don't work because patients don't take them correctly. In the afternoon, she might attend a pharmacy and therapeutics committee meeting where they decide which medicines to include in the hospital formulary. She also spends time researching drug information questions that doctors or nurses have asked her, like, can this antibiotic be given to a pregnant woman? Or is this new diabetes drug better than the one we usually use? So, Priya also trains pharmacy interns and sometimes gives lectures to medical and nursing students about proper medication use. Her day ends with documenting all her interventions and recommendations in the hospital system. What Priya loves most about her job is the variety. Every day brings new challenges and learning opportunities, and the satisfaction of knowing she helped prevent medication errors that could have harmed patients. Now let's get real for a minute. Every job has its ups and downs, and clinical pharmacy is no exception. Some challenges include long hours, especially if you work in a hospital setting. Hospitals never sleep, and sometimes you might need to be on call. There's also the emotional aspect. You'll be dealing with sick patients, sometimes critically ill ones, that can be tough emotionally. In India specifically, the challenge is that the role of clinical pharmacist is still evolving. Some doctors may not fully appreciate your input initially, and you'll need to earn their trust and respect. But the rewards, they are huge. There's immense satisfaction in knowing your knowledge directly helps patients get better. When you catch potential drug interaction that could have harmed a patient, that feeling is priceless. The respect you earn in the healthcare team is another reward. Once doctors and nurses see your value, they'll seek your opinion regularly. And there's also the intellectual stimulation. Medicine is always evolving, and you'll constantly learn about new drugs and treatments. And finally, the versatility of the field. As a clinical pharmacist, you can work in hospitals, clinics, research, academia, or even the pharmaceutical industry. If you get bored in one area, you can switch to another without starting from scratch. So, is clinical pharmacy the right career for you? So, if you're passionate about medicines, enjoy problem solving, and want to help patients without necessarily becoming a doctor, then yes, this could be your calling. The field combines science, healthcare, and direct patient care in a unique way. And with a growing focus on patient safety and optimal medication use, clinical pharmacists will only become more important in the future. And whether you choose to practice in India or abroad, there are plenty of opportunities waiting for qualified and dedicated clinical pharmacists. Remember, this is a career where you'll literally be saving lives by ensuring medications are used correctly. How cool is that for a job description? And my final advice, if you're interested in this path, try to get some exposure early. Volunteer or intern at a hospital pharmacy. Talk to practicing clinical pharmacists and read journals about the latest developments in the field. And yes, start building your communication skills alongside your technical knowledge. Being able to explain complex medication information in simple terms, like I'm trying to do in this podcast, is a superpower for clinical pharmacists. I hope this episode has given you a clear picture of what a career as a clinical pharmacist looks like. Remember, in the world of healthcare, you don't need a stethoscope to make a difference. Sometimes, all you need is a deep understanding of medicines and a passion for patient care. So that's for today's episode of the Kapil Gupta Career Pod Show. If you found this useful, please do that subscribe thing. Hit that notification bell and share this podcast with your friends who are confused about their careers. Basically, everyone in college, right? Have questions about becoming a clinical pharmacist and want to suggest another career for me to cover? Just drop a comment or DM me on Instagram at study.abroad.academy. Next week, we'll be exploring another exciting career option. So until then, this is Kapil Gupta signing off. Remember, the right career is like the right medicine. It heals your life. Bye-bye.